All right, round three. So, in my previous video, I said that I got an invite to a think tank. In that think tank, we talked for, I don't know, about a month or something. And then there was another lighthouse created because in the original one, there were lots of people that were in the lighthouse that didn't talk. And we were starting to get into more personal things. So this lighthouse was created. Right now, I'm going to start scrolling through the messages and I guess try to give some commentary about the lighthouse. Lucid was a member of the other lighthouse, and he or she created this group and put an invite link to the old lighthouse, and the active folks were able to click on it, and it brought us over to this lighthouse. In this one, we also created another place where if you wanted to, you could put your name and what your skill set or interests were, pretty much provide any information that you might think would be useful to being geared towards the ultimate goal of creating equality for everyone, I guess. An alternative to what's out there and what's available. Everybody in this group is respectful of one another and are trying to be the best person they could be. So that's basically it. And as I scroll through this, you'll be able to read the posts. You can, draw your own conclusions. But this is what we've been talking about, and think that it's probably a good idea to share it with other people, to let people know that there are people who are trying to do something about the current situation. There's a lot of things that go on in our society that a lot of people aren't aware of, and they're hidden on purpose. But this is a project that people have come together to try to change or live by example and show that there is a better way, that people can be, kind to one another. It seems to be enough to go around, but only certain people are pardon me, have access to it. But this group, are some pretty informed individuals and believe that sharing the knowledge will better assist with the ultimate goal of equality and choice for an individual, for all individuals. The ARG project is something that kind of goes along the lines of that. In the comments, if you were to leave a comment, I could possibly leave a link to join the Lighthouse. Basically, these great folks are trying to change the world for the better by creating a software that follows the laws of the universe with no interpretation. It follows the laws of physics, the laws of life. Um, it's similar. It would be similar like the founding fathers of the Constitution. They made an attempt to guarantee the rights given to us for being alive. And one thing they didn't, I believe, they weren't specific enough. Well, the language, like language, wasn't specific enough to try to put universal law into words. And with a computer or software, you write it with numbers and patterns, and those numbers or patterns are what the laws of nature are. You follow certain mathematical procedures to come to the same conclusions. And that's kind of what they're trying to do with the software. It would guarantee the rights of life itself and give the ability to the people. And whether they choose to use it or not would be their decision, kind of like life. This group covers basically all topics, but the gist of it is to try to stop the exploitation of humans by other humans. Some of them being brought to power through not so good ways, by cheating or the interpretation of the pardon me again, the interpretation of the Constitution. They use it to their advantage to exploit, take advantage of certain situations, loopholes, and stuff like that. Now, if they were following the universal law, which follows the path of least resistance, eventually those things would get canceled out. But we live in like a law within the law, our interpretation and individuals' interpretation of the law, kind of like how the Constitution is used to benefit certain people that have the ability to publicly interpret it in their behavior or in their way, while other people who might not be as connected don't have that much pull or sway in their little orbit. And this group is trying to give that opportunity, the availability of that opportunity to everyone, and not just the chosen, elected officials. You know, I mean, it's great. I've been in quite a few groups, and you know, this one is one of the best ones ever. And everybody is really understanding of one another. And you know, lately in my life, I've been coincidence has been happening, and not like synchronicity. Things that are happening in this group seem to be happening worldwide, and in like the achievements or the awareness of what is being um, achieved in this group is happening personally in my life, and then I see it, or then I can relate it to what's happening worldwide. It's really an understanding that I've come to, I don't know, appreciate, like being myself, figuring, being comfortable enough with life that I appreciate what it is doing, the evolution of humanity. And it's weird, it's just synced up really well in the last few months. I try to keep scrolling. Sometimes I get, lost in my trying to talk and explain some of these things for myself too, because it seems like I don't know, like we're writing history right now, and we have an opportunity to be in control of our own destiny, both personally and collectively. If yeah, I guess it's something that took me a long time to realize that it even existed. So if you're watching this video for the first time and some things aren't being immediately understood, just research this stuff. I think of it like this. First off, a person should know themselves, what their likes, dislikes, what they're good at, what they enjoy, individually by themselves. They figure it out by themselves, not what they're told to do or not to like or like. And if an if consciously an individual can figure out themselves, an understanding of themselves, that would therefore transfer over to everyone on the planet being able to identify a familiarity within themselves collectively. So no matter what their personal beliefs are, they would be able to recognize in one another the journey it took to find those beliefs, therefore connecting everyone in a way of separate unity. It's kind of how, I don't know, mathematics work, philosophy, all the tales that have lasted through time, what everyone relates to, the process. It would collectively bring everyone together with the process and the respect of one another going through that process. It's great. I really think that this is what is happening in the world, and you can almost like feel it happening, or if you pay attention enough. or if one were to pay attention enough. And if you, or if, maybe someone doesn't realize it or understand it, literally folks have everything at their fingertips, and, research it. If something doesn't make sense, look into it. And that process alone, you will find, things about yourself as well. But everybody plays their part. What that part is up to the individual. But that figuring out what that part is, something that joins us. It's I don't know, I believe it's time that, those systems that only help certain people, because of who they know, and, the victim stuff. I mean, I understand that there's terrible people that do terrible things. And, sometimes it's hard to even deal with the thoughts of those things, but they are there. And unless one can identify those things as being problematic, a solution will not be made or even attempted to fix them if one doesn't even acknowledge their existence. And a lot of these people in this group, they know about the bad things and what can be done to try to fix those or alleviate the people that they're affecting. Here, let's ask Liz.
Something like a video journal where it's just like kind of like candid me talking to a camera as if it were my journal, basically, because then it comes across as really genuine because it's not scripted and it's just like, this is what I really think. And it also is relating things to my life, therefore I'm not like putting anybody down or like making fun of anyone or anything. I mean, it's like, I don't want to criticize other things because then I'll come across as negative, but if I just compare things to my life, then it's not going to come across like that. So I've done like 3 test videos, and so far I've liked the format and everything. It's just my setup is kind of shitty, and I definitely need more of like a solid idea of like what I'm doing.
See, she explains it brilliantly. It's respectful, and by relating one's own journey to that of another, it binds us with that, the journey itself. And a lot of these people are aware of a lot of things, whether it be organized education or self-taught. They're if you had if I smoke too much. But if I were making a team to try to fix or solve a problem or problems that I believe are problems, these people would be the people I'd pick, and I don't even know them. I only know them through this chat, but they definitely make the team. Some folks only chime in here and there, but there are other groups that we talk about things. This was just one of the groups. The stuff that the people are working on is just for the betterment of humanity, to make things efficient, easier, actual equality, not just, oh, well, this is what this means and this is what that means. Like, these folks are living by example. Some of them are actually pretty young too. That's one thing that I struggle with. That some of these folks are still in high school. I think one is 14 years old, and I just don't understand how they could know the things that I know. I'm, a bit older, and I've been, and I read way too much. And for them to be half my age and know what I know, I can't imagine how they know this stuff. Brings me to the point of reincarnation and maybe memories and understandings being passed down. And then in the new life, maybe they're not sure, and then they realize the deja vu, and that clicks something, or a coincidence, and that clicks an understanding. Lately, my brain and understanding of things it's going way deep. It's happening fast too. Just the way that life works. Administering what I've learned and using it to learn other things, and it's just great. I thought I found this before in other groups. I mean, I don't know if destiny or whatever it is, but it seems like I've been waiting to meet these folks my whole life. And the things that they say just ring so true. There was a point where I thought that a lot of these folks were the same person, or like, say there was 10 people in the group. I thought maybe that there were 2 people that had 5 names each, because everybody knew about the same stuff. So I thought they were like questioning whether, or like embarrassed to say some of the things because they're so out there. So they were using aliases. But no, really, these folks are, all different, but kind of the same. It's still confusing at times. But through these videos, you can read this stuff and figure out what to do with it. See, to harmonize with all the laws of nature. Yes. and it's not like forced knowledge. It's more like a agreeable knowledge. It's, see, but this is really good stuff. Even just if one didn't wasn't aware of any of this stuff and it doesn't make sense, and an individual were to go research this stuff, it would tie into their lives. This is like universal understanding of the human condition and how we can use what was given to us to our benefit to help everybody, but individually. Yeah, it's like a paradox. But that's really, how can there be nothing from something? But there is, apparently. Or maybe I'm wrong. I guess one can come to their own conclusion. This is such good stuff. And this is, I think I'm on March 26th. This goes to whatever today's date is, April something. It's like the end of April. Brother's singing in the shower. Oh, like, here's, I don't know if the goodness, the karma, and stuff like that, if people can put out bad karma to affect those with good karma. Like, these are really wild theories, but what just happened to me, I was one day at my house and, a situation that I had already figured out years ago replayed itself. And within, I think, two or 3 days, I was kicked out of my own house for nothing at all, and ended up, messed up, and it was just bad stuff. And it's just, I think it could have been a motivator to, I don't know, a motivator to tell me that I should be, that what I was doing wasn't on the mark. I don't know, or to build me with confidence so that I can further my endeavors in trying to accomplish that which I believe will help everyone in the long run. I don't know, it's really weird, but here I am. The coincidences, it just further helps me. I don't know, I look at them like deja vu, like, oh, you're on the right path, you recognize it. So yeah, I must be on the right path. Maybe this is a path I've walked before, or this was put forth for me. So I don't know, it's only my theories on it. One can read this stuff and come up with their own, and maybe you can explain it to me. See, right now it's 5:17 on a Sunday. We usually have some kind of, well, that's sporadic too, but we usually have some sort of call, like a conference call on Sundays. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I see that there's 64 messages, so people are coming online and they are probably talking about the conference later on. It's you know, it's cool to talk to these people on the internet and then actually make a plan to call one another, and people call in, and everybody you know, hear that they're real people. It's comforting, especially with the stuff that we talk about and what we would want to be doing with ourselves to better everyone, or try to give an opportunity for others who might not have the ability to. You know, it's great stuff. So I guess one can come to their own conclusion, and if something doesn't make sense, look into it. Especially if you're watching this video, you probably have access to the internet. So go over to a search engine and verify this stuff if you want. I encourage you to. The more the merrier. If we don't do it, who else will? I always used to think, well, I always used to wait for something to happen, when really, I guess, I was waiting for myself. And it's just great to know that I am capable of these things. I believe everyone is. All they would need would be to educate themselves in the way that they deem fit, or that they agree with, and go from there. So, well, yeah. Anyway, go. I hope this makes sense. This is cool. This is already 32 minutes? That can't be right. 33 minutes? Wow.